hope you guys are having a great day today. I just wanted to remind you guys that you guys can email us your pictures of your slippers or your socks at pics@sunnysideadventist.org. Our first song for today is I Just Want to Be a Sheep. You guys can also stand if you want.
I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I don't wanna be a Pharisee. I don't wanna be a Pharisee. 'Cause they're not fair, you see. I don't wanna be a Pharisee. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I don't wanna be a Sadducee. I don't wanna be a Sadducee. 'Cause there's no Sadducee. I don't wanna be a Sadducee. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I don't wanna be a hypocrite. I don't wanna be a hypocrite. 'Cause they're not hip with it. I don't wanna be a hypocrite. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I don't wanna go to Babylon. I don't wanna go to Babylon. 'Cause they just babble on and on and on and on and on. I don't wanna go to Babylon. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba ba ba. I don't wanna be a goat, no. I don't wanna be a goat, no. 'Cause they got no hope, no. I don't wanna be a goat, no. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba. And I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I just wanna be a sheep, ba 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 ba.
And who's the king of all those sheep and animals? That's right, Jesus. So let's sing our next song, Who's the King of the Jungle?
Who's the king of the jungle? Who's the king of the sea? Who's the king of the universe? The jungle and the sea. I'll tell you, K-E-S-U-S. Yes, he's the king of me and you. He's the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Who's the king of the forest? Caw. Who's the king of the swamp? Chomp. Who's the king of the universe, the forest and the swamp? I'll tell you, K-E-S-U-S. Yes, he's the king of me and you. He's the king of the universe, the forest and the swamp. Who's the king of the desert? Who's the king of the trees? Tweet. Who's the king of the universe, the desert K-E-S-U-S. Yes! He's the king of me and you. He's the king of the universe, the backyard and the house.
Since Jesus died on the cross for us, we can have peace. So let's sing about that peace. And I've got peace like a river.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got fun like an ocean. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like a fountain in my soul.
Our last song is My Lighthouse. Please sing along if you know it.
In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubles, oh, you are the peace in my troubles, in the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubles, oh, you are the peace in my troubles, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness. I will follow you, oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise, and you will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubles, oh, you are the peace in my troubles. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness. I will follow you, oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to singing with us. I could almost hear you guys over here. And if you like Legos, you're definitely going to like the story that we have coming up. So stay tuned. Until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Stars twinkled in the cool night sky. The little waves made splashing sounds against the boat as Peter and his friends were fishing out on the Sea of Galilee. They had been out all night in hopes of catching fish, but as the night went on, not a single fish swam into their net. They were feeling tired. They were getting hungry. They were sad that no fish were going into their net. Finally, they decided to give up and head back to shore. As they neared the shore, a man called out to them. He said,
Hey, did you catch any fish?
"No, not even one," they said. So the man said,
Throw your net on the other side.
"Huh?" This didn't make any sense, but something about that man made them want to try again. So they did as he suggested. They went and put the nets to the other side of the boat. And then something amazing happened. Do you know what happened? It was a miracle. What? They pulled the net up and it was so heavy with fish that the nets even started to break. Then you know what? John said to Peter, "Peter, guess what? I know who that man is." "Who is it?" "That man is Jesus." Oh, Peter got so excited to see his friend Jesus. He jumped into the water and swam all the way to shore. Jesus. He was so excited. You know what? He had a tasty breakfast waiting for them. He had prepared them breakfast. He loved them so much. And you know what? He said, come to all the friends. Come and have breakfast with me. And so they all got off the boat. And they laughed and sat down for breakfast together.
Okay.
And oh my goodness, they had such a nice time. Can you imagine? They got a surprise breakfast from Jesus. Do you know that Jesus wants you to always watch for little ways that you can help others? Just the way he helped them. Yeah, when you serve others, you are being like Jesus. Yeah, I wonder what you will do to help someone today.
Hello, my friends. How are you? So nice to see you again. I have a question for you today. Would you rather be thrown into the lion's den to spend the whole entire night, or be thrown over the side of a ship, swallowed by a whale, and stay 3 days in the belly of a whale? Exciting choices, huh? Well, let's take this a little bit closer to home. Now, I want you to imagine you are laying in bed and it's dark and you are supposed to be asleep, because you know you are. All right, and then all of a sudden you hear screechy, screechy, screechy. What is that? Coming from the closet or maybe under the bed? And then you know there shouldn't be anything under there, but you know something is. So you're like, I have to stay in bed. I'm going to be brave. Okay, you've done that, right? And then you hear it again. Screechy. It sounds closer, doesn't it? Oh, it's so scary. So what are you going to do? Are you going to grab your bear? Is your bear going to protect you from whatever is out there? Or are you going to be like, Mom, come save me? You're probably going to go for Mom, aren't you? Exactly. So we choose who protects us. In our life, we can choose to have God protect us, or we can choose to have God not protect us. Most of us are going to choose to go through life with God, but let's look at what happens if someone doesn't. Okay, so we've chosen not. Let's pretend this person has chosen not to go through life with God. life is hard. Life is hard. And sometimes the winds blow and the rain falls and you get wet, and sometimes you go underwater, right? Life just happens that way. There are times. It happens to everyone. We go underwater, and what happens? Yeah, it takes our smile away. It's kind of icky. It's hard. Life is really hard. But if we choose to go through life with God, I wonder if it would be any different. So we have this person here, and this person, let's pretend it's you, says, "Dear God, I want you to protect me. I love you. I want my hand in yours." So then all of a sudden, you're in God's hand. What happens when the wind starts blowing? What happens when we go underwater? When all the bad things happen that are so bad that just wreck us, right? What happens when we're in God's hand? Protected and safe. All right, so let's see what happened to this person in here. Okay, let's see what happened to our person. What? They're all dry. They're smiling. God protected them. My favorite chapter in the Bible is Psalms 91. And I hope you'll take time to look at that today, because it says, when we ask God, He will protect us. He will put us in His hand. And it says, you do not have to be afraid of the dark. You don't have to be afraid of disasters. You don't have to be afraid of sickness. He said that angels will pick you up in their hands so that you don't stub your toe against a stone. Wow, what kind of protection is that? That's even better than mom or dad, right? Now, just like in this thing here, bad things happen to all of us, right? At some point in our lives, we all go underwater. But God says bad things will happen to everyone. But when you ask me to be your protector, I will protect you in my hand. That's just as good as being in our little bottle here and going under, because being protected in God's hand is the very best place to be. All right? So let me ask you this. How do we get God to be our protector? What do we have to do? The great news is all you have to do is ask. Say, "Dear Jesus, please be my protector." He will be with us through all of the problems that we have. So today, I'm going to ask you to go and read Psalms 91 with your family. And then maybe you can draw a picture of your most favorite part of that chapter. All right, you guys, I love you. I'll see you next time.
Hi everyone, it's Aunt Fernita. Today's story is called Jesus Makes New Friends. The memory verse is from Matthew chapter 9, verse 13. It says, "I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Today's message is God invites everyone to join His family. Have you ever felt very lonely, as if no one cares about you, and that you don't have any friends? That was just how Matthew felt until he met Jesus. Then everything changed. It probably happened like this. When the Romans conquered Judea, they demanded that all the Jews pay taxes. No one likes giving money away, especially to an occupying army. Most people were angry about it. Many tried to think of ways to avoid paying the taxes. The Romans hired Jewish people to help collect the taxes, and that's how Matthew got a job as a tax collector. His job was to make sure that people paid. Soon, many of his old friends stopped speaking to him. The Romans did not really like him either. They treated him like a servant and usually ignored him. All they wanted was their money. Usually, the only people who would talk to him were other tax collectors. People used to say that all tax collectors were liars, cheats, and thieves. But there were good tax collectors and bad ones. The Romans did not pay them for collecting the taxes. They just assumed that the tax collectors would charge people a bit more. The extra money they collected was theirs to keep. So most tax collectors charged people more than they should. For some time, Matthew had heard about a man called Jesus. Even if the people didn't talk to him, they talked to each other. And while they were waiting to pay, Matthew listened to them talk. That's how he learned what was going on in the city. Jesus sounded amazing. He healed people who had never been able to walk or see. Matthew sometimes saw them running and leaping just for fun. People said that Jesus forgave sins. Matthew wondered about that. He knew he did wrong things. Could Jesus forgive his sins? Would Jesus even want to talk to him? Then something wonderful happened. Jesus was standing in front of Matthew, speaking to him. Jesus said, "Matthew, come, follow me." Matthew did not hesitate. He got up, left everything to the other tax collectors, and followed Jesus. Matthew decided to follow Jesus, to be one of his helpers. He wanted others to know, so he gave them a big party for all his friends. He wanted them to meet Jesus too. The scribes and Pharisees came to see what was happening. They saw that Jesus was Matthew's guest. They saw him eating with the tax collectors, and they were shocked. "Jesus," they said, "why are you eating with tax collectors and sinners?" Jesus looked up and smiled. "People who are healthy do not need a doctor," he said. "Only the sick need a doctor. I have not come to tell the righteous to repent. I have come to help sinners repent." Jesus' answer gave everyone hope. No one is to be left out of God's family. Everyone is welcome to join. What about you? Have you joined Jesus' family?
Created and produced by Falvo Fowler. This podcast is read by Franita Buddy Fullwood for Gracelink.net. Animation and artwork by Giogo Godoy. Audio is post-produced by Faith Toe at Studio El Piso in Singapore. The theme music is by Clayton Kinney. The audio engineer was Maurice Bailey.